Hey there, banjo friends. All right, well, I got another traditional Irish song to work on in this workshop for you. But before we get started, I just wanted to remind you that if you do like this series and you want to encourage me, encouragement is always good, then go ahead and subscribe and hit the like and send me a comment and ring the bell or all that stuff. And if you really like it, then feel free to give me a tip. I have a tip jar on the. You can get it from the description of this video, but also on YouTube you can get it from in the background image on my YouTube page. On the lower right hand corner there's a little link to a tip jar. But in any event, let's get started. Come and tell me, Sean O'Farrell, tell me why you hurry so. Hush a bruckle, hush and listen, and his cheeks were all aglow. I bear orders from the captain, get you ready quick and soon. For the pikes must be together at the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon. For the pikes must be together at the rising of the moon. And come tell me, Sean O'Farrell, where the gathering is to be. At the old spot by the river, quite well known to you and me. One more word for signal token, whistle out the marching tune. While you pike upon your shoulder at the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon, with your pike upon your shoulder at the rising of the moon. Out from many a mud-walled cabin, eyes were watching through the night. Many a manly heart was beating for the blessed morning's light. Murmurs run along the valley to the banshee's lonely croon, and 1,000 pikes were flashing by the rising of the moon. By the rising of the moon, by the rising of the moon, and 1,000 pikes were flashing by the rising of the moon. All along that singing river, that black mass of men was seen. High above their shining weapons flew their own beloved green. Death to every foe and traitor, whistle out that marching tune. And hurrah, me boys, for freedom at the rising of the moon. 'Tis the rising of the moon, 'tis the rising of the moon. And hurrah, me boys, for freedom, 'tis the rising of the moon. 'Tis the rising of the moon, 'tis the rising of the moon. And hurrah, me boys, for freedom, 'tis the rising of the moon. All right, well, that's a really good song for the basic frailing strum. Now, if you remember, the basic frailing strum is just to strike down on pretty much any of the strings, a strum, and then pull up on the thumb. So it's... Now, I'm doing embellishments with my left hand, but even if you don't do those, it's still... Come and tell me, Sean O'Farrell, tell me why you hurry so. Hush a bruchel, hush and listen, and his cheeks were all aglow. See, it works absolutely perfectly. If you add in the embellishments, which are just hammer-ons that I do with the left hand, and I almost always do them after the initial stroke, or the initial strike. So I do a strike like that. Or in some cases, I'll do a whole chord. So like that. So it's... But you don't have to do that. That takes a bit of practice, and if you're not ready for it yet, but if you've got the basic frailing strum down, then all you have to do is that. So let's go through the chords here. the verses all use just a C, a G, and an F. So it's come and tell me, Sean O'Farrell. So that's a C. And it goes to an open G. Tell me why you hurry so. And it goes to an F. Hush a bruchel, hush, and goes back to a C. Listen with his cheeks, and that's to a G again. Cheeks were all aglow, and back to C again. So it's the C, G, F, and back to C. And so all the verses are like that. The chorus, where it says on the rising of the moon, that's where it is just a little different. Instead of doing that initial C, you're doing an A minor instead. And that gives that moody tension there. So it's at the rising of the moon, at the rising, that goes to the G again. And then now it goes to the F. For the pikes must be back to the C, together at the rise, back to the G, back to the C. So the only difference between the verses and the chorus, as far as the playing goes, is that for the choruses, instead of the first C, you're doing an A minor instead. So it's always going to be C, G, F, C, G, C, and then for the choruses, it's A minor, G, F, C, G, C. So I'm going to go through the first couple of verses and choruses that way. And so let's go. So we go, come and tell me, Sean O'Farrell, that's a C. Tell me why you hurry so. That goes to an F. Hush a bruchel, hush, and C. Listen. And his cheeks were all over. That goes to the G. Back to the C. Low. Now repeats the same. I bear orders from the captain, get you ready. So it goes to C to G. Ready, quick and soon. Goes to F. For the pikes must be. Now it goes to C. Together by the. And it goes G again. Rising of the. Back to C. It's moon. Now it goes to the chorus. At the. It goes to A minor. Rising of the moon. At the rising G. Back to F. For the pikes must be together. So it goes F to C. Together at the rising of the moon. And that's the whole song. That's how you play it. Just that basic C, G, F, C, G, C for all the verses. And the A minor, G, F, C, G, C for all the choruses. That's the whole song. And it's that time of year. So have some fun for St. Patrick's Day playing that one, and I should have another one before we actually get to St. Patrick's Day. I'll have another song or so to break out for you. Anyway, you have a good week, and I'll see you later. Bye.